This is my 25 cents on John Wick. First of all, until Monday. Until Monday, I had never seen a John Wick movie. Obviously aware of John Wick, aware of Keanu Reeves. I found there's a streaming channel that had it for free. So I watched the first John Wick movie, not realizing until yesterday that the game encompasses the 4 John Wick movies. But here's the deal. The movie did nothing for me, right? Just like, anyway, it's funny, every time a movie-based pinball machine comes out, about a movie that I haven't seen before, I go and watch the movie, and I don't like the movie. I didn't like Pulp Fiction. I didn't like The Godfather. Actually, the last 25 minutes of The Godfather were fantastic, but everything leading up to that point, I was so bored. Pulp Fiction to me was stupid. I'm sorry. I know everybody likes those movies, and a lot of people like John Wick. That's fine. We can agree to disagree, right? Or we can agree that everybody can have their own opinion, right? I just didn't like them. Having said that, here's the thing. Pinballs. Night Surf Ride, I will once I get it fixed. Movies just aren't the same like they used to be. No, that's true. I'm still living in the 80s. What can I say? The only current movies I like are like the MCU, which is still living in the 80s for me, I guess. Now, don't get me wrong, like Kill Bill, Volumes 1 and 2, which one movie split into 2 parts, right? Love that. I just didn't like Pulp Fiction. That doesn't have anything to do with John Wick. So, John Wick didn't turn me on. However, having said that, of course, Eddie, I grew up in the 80s, but was born prior to the 80s. Anyway, John Wick. When I saw, and what's funny is I had gone back to bed and then woke up in time to see the trailer and the information on the Stern website and all that. And I was like, this looks kind of cool. And here's the deal. I can't put my finger on exactly what it is about the play, and I'm talking about the playfield specifically. What it is that turned me on, but it just looked cool. It is a fan layout. 99.9% of 2-flipper games are going to be a fan layout game, right? You can't avoid that. So there's nobody should complain about a 2-flipper game being a fan layout. It's just the way it is. I thought the art looked cool. In fact, the art, once it was revealed yesterday, looked way better than that blurry image that was leaked on Monday, right? Way better. Because when I saw that image on Monday, I was like, this is weird looking. Or something's not right. There's something, I can't tell what it is, but there's something about the art I didn't like. And then when we saw the full playfield yesterday, I was like, I can get behind that. It looks cool. And the cityscape in the background with the neon green plastic behind the artwork, and it's lit. And there's more neon colors around the slingshot area and whatnot. And the center of the playfield with John in that What kind of? He's in some kind of karate pose, or whatever. Does he have nunchucks on the one side? Whatever. Uh, I should have brought up a picture. Uh, but anyway, the art. I was like, okay, that looks really cool. I was impressed. Now, I don't get so detailed with like cabinet art. I do kind of, and people are going to disagree with me on this one. The premium cabinet art to me, I think looks the best. I like the big John Wick on the side. That is the premium, right? The stained glass back glass on the LE, I think is pretty dope. Did I just say that? I never use that phrase. Oh my gosh. People are influencing me. I'm saying things that were 30 years ago. Or 20 years ago. Anyway. But I just like the premium cabinet art package. They're all fine. They're all good. What's his name? Oh God, I already forgot his name again. Who did the artwork? It's not Michael Barnard. It's the other dude. And I can't remember his name. Frick. Yes, the Bruce Lee pose. Exactly. Agreed. Gameplay looks fun to shoot, but not rich by any means, so it has to check all the boxes nowadays. I'm more curious about Back to the Future and Matrix. Of course, Back to the Future is coming from Pinball Brothers. Hopefully sometime this year. I know the game has been seen. I won't say by who, but I know that. Hey, look. Oh, you can't see it. The ad for John Wick is up on the screen right now. So anyway, Dutch Pinball, not Pinball Brothers. You're right, Dutch Pinball. Pinball Brothers is doing ABBA right now. Okay, so that's cool that that's coming up because that's going to remind me of what's in the game. So I'm going to talk about the layout, right? So there's some stand-up targets on the left, and then right above that there is a scoop shot, and then there's an orbit shot, which for the longest time I couldn't figure out where that orbit shot went because a lot of the back of the game is like hidden, but there is an orbit that goes from the shooter lane around, and there are some other points where the ball can go on plunge, right? But the left orbit doesn't make a complete orbit. It goes, it ends up by the Continental building, right? To the right of the Continental building. That's the orbit shot on the end. And then you got the left ramp. Fine, it's a ramp. And then you got the shot going up the to the right of the left ramp into the Red Circle Club where there's only one pop bumper, but there are two kickers below the pop bumper. So there's not just a pop bumper up there moving the ball around. There are two kickers up there as well. And on the premium LE, that's where the balls drop in for multi-ball out of that physical ball lock that is not on the Pro. And then you have the center ramp, right? Correct? So the center ramp, and it looks kind of skinny. It does, but hey, so it's not a wide open ramp. Hey, why do the ramps have to be wide open? They're pretty wide open. The left ramp on Elvira is pretty wide open. On the premium LE, there's a diverter at the top of that ramp that will divert the ball over into the ball lock from behind the backboard. That looks pretty cool. What's interesting about that ball lock is the up-down post, instead of having just a round cylindrical plastic on that post, it's cone-shaped, which I don't think I've seen before. That's just a minor detail. But anyway, and then the ball drops into the Red Circle Club area once you lock 3 balls or whatever. Or the ball comes around the right side and then across the playfield back to the left flipper. And then you have the car, right, is next. The car that is hidden under the plastic. It's a bash toy. You can bash it. It can drift out. They're calling it drift, right? So it can drift out. and it can actually block the right orbit shot and the captive ball under the Continental. On the Pro, it's a static toy. Apparently, supposedly, it does move on the Pro. I think it's just a, you know, it acts like a captive ball type deal where you bash it. Then you got the captive ball under the Continental. Then you got the right orbit. And then you have the right ramp, which is just a 180 ramp and back to the right flipper. And then you have the weapons locker on the right that acts as a bash toy. I think there are a couple stand-ups right above it too that have something to do with it. That's what I read on Pinball News. But I noticed an inaccuracy on Pinball News. But the weapons locker on the Premium LE, you can bash it. It'll open up to give access to that hole in the playfield for the VUC that feeds back up to the right flipper. That's the layout. I just think it looks cool. Is it revolutionary? No. Is it innovative? No, it's not. It just looks cool for some reason. I don't know why I was so happy with it. And I wasn't with Jaws. In fact, I didn't even talk about Jaws on stream until I played it at TPF. But this is the first game, and like I said, I'm not excited about the theme because I saw the movie, didn't like the movie, or didn't care for the movie. I mean, it was meh. It was just a lot of violence. That's all it was. There was no substance. It was just, you know, a movie that appeals to straight males. I'm still streaming, right? Okay. Anyway, what else is there? Is there anything else in the game? I mean, there's nothing, like I said, there's nothing really innovative or revolutionary in the game. It just looks good. So it's a combination of the layout and the art and the plastic cityscape in the back. It just, as a package, it looks freaking cool. And it grabbed my attention, and I want to play it. In fact, I would probably buy one, but I would have to sell a game in order to buy one. So yeah. Oh, and the AI, which is kind of a misnomer. It's not artificial intelligence. Someone on Pinside went ape shit over the fact that they're putting AI into the games now. It's not. It's just the game software responds to what's going on the playfield, right? Like what happened in a video game, like what has happened in video games since Pac-Man. I mean, come on, when you think about it, Pac-Man has AI in it because the ghosts respond to what Pac-Man's doing on the screen, right? Although all four ghosts have their own personalities, but still. By the way, can anybody name the four ghosts in Pac-Man? I know you can, but anyway. Reminds you of Ghostbusters. I don't get that. And I had a Ghostbusters. I don't, it doesn't remind me of Ghostbusters, so I'm sorry that yeah. I know people, and see, that's the other thing. People like to compare it to other games. Why? It's a new designer. We don't know this designer's MO yet, method of operation, right? Elliot Eisman, by the way, give him credit. Okay, Eagle Flip knows the ghost. Let me see what Jaws, coming from Pinball Eddie, Jaws is a dream theme for me. So I got a premium, and it gives the feeling of playing an Elwyn based on my previous ones, JP and Godzilla, and just wasn't into those themes. So Jaws checks all the boxes. Exactly. I will say this, Jaws for Elwyn is a slight departure for his traditional style. He's designed, what, 5 games? Or is it 4? But But see, that's just the thing. Elwin has a style, and you can expect, and actually Jaws has it. You can expect like loops in Elwin's games. Jack Danger's Foo Fighters, which I would love to have a Foo Fighters too, if you want to know the truth. His is kind of loopy too, but that's fine. They have their own style. The thing is, now we haven't seen Jack's next game yet. His next cornerstone, which he should be up next. Well, Borg should have been up, but so I guess we're gonna get Borg's new Metallica in the fall, and then probably Jack Danger's Pokemon in the winter. Rumor has it, right? So those should be coming up, maybe. So we'll see how Jack's tendencies will be in designing his games. But Elwin, you can usually count on loops and ramps, of course. But mainly, there will be loop action in the game. There will be combo action in the game. And I will still tell you that Avengers Infinity Quest has more flow than any game Steve Ritchie ever designed. I'm sorry. As far as I'm concerned, Keith Elwin is the king of flow. I said it. Hot take. So anyway, and there are elements in John Wick that have been used, like that ramp on the left side. It's the same ramp that's in Deadpool. It's the same ramp that is in James Bond. It's in Foo Fighters. It's the same freaking ramp. So it's great that Stern can stock standard parts, just like their scoops. They're all standard. Their up-down posts, they're all fairly standard. The ramps, they have some standard ramps that they can use. It makes things cheaper because they can order in quantity, right? So the flippers, the lane guides, they're all pretty much the same. It's just the position of them that's different, because somebody did point out that the lane guides on John Wick are a little bit higher than the top of the slingshots. So it makes saving the ball a little bit easier, whereas Elwin puts the slingshots a little bit further up. So feels like a mix to me of Godzilla JP with a little Walking Dead thrown in, and for some reason I can play a while on it. And the clips don't get old for me. Awesome. I had a Foo real fun, and while I enjoy Foo music, just got repetitive for me. But as a first cornerstone, Jack knocked. Oh, I think Jack exceeded all expectations on Foo Fighters, and that's no freaking joke. I mean, he had a practice run with Jurassic Park Home Edition, but Foo Fighters, I don't think anybody was expecting what Jack did in that game. I mean, I was blown away. I think, personally, I think the pro version of that game is probably better, but or a better choice. I don't think you need the upper deal. Jurassic Park flow. On which Jurassic Park? Anyway. Okay. So, still talking about John Wick. Everybody's seen the pictures, and if you haven't seen, the best pictures I found are on Pinball News website. And the feature matrix, of course, is on Stern's website, along with the flyers and the video links and whatever. Oh, that is one thing, because the ad's playing right now. So the side armor on the premium is the I want to say they put lollipop rails on the premium, right? It's probably the triangle armor, but that's cool that the premium has the... Oh, they called it hand guards on the feature matrix. That's what it's called. The rails with the hand guards on the premium. I think it's pretty cool. I think they did that on Jaws also. but premiums used to only come with standard side rails, and only LEs got it is the triangle side rails. Now, I will say this. The LE with the black powder coat, that doesn't excite me. I'm sorry. Because the Pro and the Premium have black powder coat. Yes, it's the black wrinkle finish, but the thing about the LE is there's usually a cool complementary color on the powder coat. And I get, because of the theme, that black is probably most appropriate. I think they could have done something else. I really do. That's just the thing. We are talking Aster here. Stern. We're talking Stern here. Okay. So anyway, I'm not going to get... Here's the deal. I'm not going to talk about the cost of the games. However, I will say this. The Pro, $7,000. Listen. Okay, here's what I'm going to... Like gunmetal. See that? There you go. That would probably be a better choice. But... Here's where I'm going to start kind of going on a little bit of a rant about people. People ruined it. So here's the deal. I actually, even though I'm not interested in the theme, I actually kind of got excited about this game yesterday, right? And then it happened. Everybody started making comments. And not just about the one thing, but... lots of crap. Like, I'm going to try not to be negative, but it really put me in a bad place last night. It really did. With comments about the pricing. Well, first of all, welcome to 2024. That's all I have to say, because if you don't know it, pricing has gone up on everything, not just freaking pinball machines, right? So, everything's more expensive now. It just is. Okay? The Pro at $7,000, still packed, fun game, I'm sure. The game clips from the movies, great. All that stuff. They've got assets. They've got video. They got sound. They got Ian McShane doing call-outs. They got what they could. What they couldn't get, that we found out from George Gomez last night, was they couldn't get guns in the artwork. Obviously, they're in the movie clips. And that was the thing that bugged me about the first movie when I watched it, was let's just go around shooting people. I don't get it. And anyway... So the lack of guns in the artwork, according to George Gomez, was from the licensor. Is it Lionsgate, the licensor? Well, see, Kirk Hobbs, you're right. Only gun nuts care about guns not being there. When I was looking at the game, and what got me excited about it was it looked like it's going to be fun to play. The rules and code should be interesting, and especially because of the AI, will be different from any other game. Oh, and then the contracts that you get through Insider Connected. Now, I don't allow notifications like that. But the fact that Insider Connected, Stern will post, hey, go do this on the game, and you'll get a notification so you can go play the game and do that thing and get the thing for doing that thing. That's awesome. It adds more. It takes Insider Connected to the next level, and it gives you something to shoot for in the game, right? So that's freaking cool. So when I was looking at the artwork or looking at the game yesterday, never once did it cross my mind, oh, hey, there are no guns in this artwork. You know why? Because it doesn't matter. I'm sorry. It does not matter that there aren't any guns in the frickin' artwork. I know people, okay, before every release, this always happens with every frickin' game, people get it in their head, oh, well, it should have a gun trigger instead of a plunger rod. Well, when was the last time Stern put a launch button on a game? None in my recent memory. Or Walking Dead, was that the last time a cannon was put on the playfield? Or that I know of anyway. So seriously, people get it in their heads, oh, it'd be cool to have a gun handle, or it'd be cool if there's a gun in the game that shoots the ball, or a gun that eats the ball, you know, like the shark didn't do on Jaws. So we had Sharkgate with Jaws, and now we got Gungate with John Wick. I don't play the artwork on my Elvira. The artwork is just there to tell me what's going on in the game and to keep it from being bare wood. Why does there have to be a gun in the artwork? It's not necessary. And don't get mad at Stern or the designer or the software engineer or anybody else for there not being a gun in the freaking artwork or on the cabinet or whatever you thought should be in the game. Number one, the licensor gets to approve that stuff and tell Stern what they can do. At least they got images, they got assets, they got video assets, they got call outs from Ian McShane. Stern got a lot to put in this game, right? So don't get mad at what Stern didn't do. Get happy about what Stern did do and are doing. Stern knows what they're doing. Just let them do their job. If you don't like the game, guess what? You don't have to buy it. I need to catch up on chat. Oh. Well, we smashed the stream, didn't we? Okay. Yes. To the people who think there's some conspiracy, no, yo, come on. You know what? That's the problem with the world today is people don't take people at face value. They think everybody has an ulterior motive for what they're doing. What happened? You know what? There was a time, and I'm sorry, I grew up in a... Okay, now, my parents were older, okay? They were 47 when they had me, so my parents were born in 1926. Let that sink in. So my mother is 2.5 years away from being 100 years old.
I guess there's a lot to be learned here.
Or 2 years away from... Well, she'll be 98 in the fall. But anyway... Life's not fair. Okay, I wasn't going to mention Carrie Hardy, but I will. But let me finish my point. Wait, now I forgot my point. Oh, so my parents grew up during the Great Depression, right? And then my dad went to war in World War II. Whatever. But I grew up with the mentality passed on by my father that you take a man at his word. And that's like the games that I've sold pinball machines, I've always taken men at their word. And that's also why ended up with a game that needs more work than I thought. But you take people at face value and quit trying to read in between the lines that aren't there. Stern doesn't have an ulterior motive. There was no reason why they didn't put guns in the game other than the licensor said no. End of discussion. That should end the debate right there. And the fact that George Gomez was willing to go into that post and actually explain the situation, kudos to George Gomez. He didn't have to do that. He could have kept his lips sealed and let everybody bitch. Well, they're bitching anyway. And holy shit, I think there have been more posts about no guns in the game. In fact, one of the moderators on Pinball Enthusiasts on Facebook said, y'all stop this crap. We're gonna, the admin is gonna start, denying these posts. Although I've noticed they're still happening. But anyway, that's another point. Anyway, it's stupid. And I have to tell you, all the comments that I've seen, and some of them you can avoid, and some of them, it's kind of hard to avoid. But all the comments that I've seen are either complaining about pricing. It's 2024, get over it. That's the end of that story, right? Stern knows what they're doing. They're pricing their machines the way they need to be. At least they're not jacking up the price to be at the same level as Jersey Jack. The second thing is, Stern knows how to make pinball machines. They are the leader in the pinball industry as far as manufacturing machines. They know how to design them. They know how to do animations and the LCD screen. Listen, I know JJP, John Paul DeWin, has awesome screens, but they also use a bigger screen, so there's more real estate. I love the video assets on JJP games. Sometimes there's too much information. Sometimes there's too much information on the Stern games. I get it. Stern doesn't want to take away the back box art. That's cool. I like back box art. Or glass, translights and back glasses. Stern knows what they're doing. That's the bottom line. Okay? And Stern wants to put out the best version of a theme that they can. You cannot convince me otherwise. You cannot convince me that Stern just wants to do a mediocre job. No. Everybody that works at Stern is passionate about pinball. I've seen that every time I've gone to a seminar or seen a video online or a live stream.
Special.
Yes, it is. Everybody that works at Stern is passionate about pinball. The people that are producing these games are passionate about pinball. Leave them alone. Let them do their job. Not every theme, and this is not just Stern, this goes for all pinball manufacturers. Excuse me. Everything that comes out of a pinball manufacturer is not directed at you. It doesn't have to be a theme you like. Just don't buy it. If you don't like it, you don't have to say, well, that's a theme I'm going to save my money on, or I don't have to buy that game because I don't like the theme. Well, first of all, play the damn game first, because you know what? I said the same thing about Iron Maiden, and then I played the game, and I was like, holy shit, I like this. Listen, constructive criticism is one thing. Just bitching for the sake of bitching doesn't need to happen. I'm going to go through the chat in just a moment and catch up, because I got on this train of thought and I don't want to derail myself. So, anyway, or maybe I'm done. Maybe I'm done. I know what I was going to say is reading the comments and seeing the comments that I saw last night about the gun gate thing really brought me down. So I started the day like, hey, this is a cool game, and I'm actually excited about pinball. To last night, I was like, man, there are some fantastic fucking people in pinball. Some of the nicest people I've ever met. But yet, you've got these keyboard warriors who have to poo-poo on everything. And it's probably because they can't afford it. Well, I can't afford it, but I'm not going to poo-poo on it. I think that's it. I really do. I think that's it. I think I got it out of my system now.